This episode of CU Live is brought to you with support from Stoff's Coffee Roasters. Since 1988, Stoff's has been offering specialty coffee hand-roasted right here in Central Ohio. Stoff's is also a proponent of meaningful community conversations, whether online or in person. Visit their website at stoffs.com for the latest information on their locations, or to order online and enjoy a cup of Stoff's while you watch this episode.
Hello and welcome to CU Live. I'm Susan Post, Associate Editor of Columbus Underground, and I have with me today Lisa McLymont, who is a visual artist, graphic designer, and social justice advocate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk about kind of a cool topic, the future of art in Columbus. So I know talk about a ton of things within that, but you've really been a creator and part of the art scene for several years now. So really over the last few years, how have you seen the interest in art in Columbus grow?
It hasn't waned. It's growing by leaps and bounds. Columbus's art community has grown exponentially. So in a nutshell, every aspect of the arts you could imagine, maybe except for dance. Dance isn't really big in Columbus. I'm proud to be part of something that has helped me grow in myself and see it happening for the city. We as artists have helped unearth a lot of deep conversations just by making the art that we're making and banding together the way we have. It's pretty exciting to watch.
So looking kind of big picture, Columbus and the region are really growing, and there's kind of a lot of factors that go into that. But why is a vibrant art scene, kind of really important for the future growth of the city?
It's the health of the community. If we aren't creating and taking time to consider what's happening in the world and recording that, I don't know that we can really grow, let alone remember where we were or are. I would include writing in that, a lot of great poetry and passages on what's happening in Columbus, the change that's happening across the board.
Kind of serves as an interesting way to get people engaged in the city and the history of the city and the climate.
I feel like my own self as an artist, being willing to share my process and growth online has generated some really deep conversations and brought people to me that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So I think, art is powerful.
Absolutely. And how can we kind of continue to make art more accessible in Columbus?
Well, there's a big push for murals right now. So I think having art outside, especially during the pandemic, makes it so people can just hop in their car and drive around and see things. I think, I mentioned the pandemic, and I think it's harder now for especially theaters. I work at Kappa, and we can't open until the city's healthy again. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. I think we can't just open up and go back to the way we were because things are so different now. But there are lots of really amazing and thoughtful people pushing to help, to figure out ways to get the crowds to be crowds without harming anybody.
Safely.
Yeah.
And I want to, talk about this a little bit more from the perspective of being an artist. How can the city and local organizations create really an inclusive arts community now and in the future?
I'm not quite sure how to make that happen. Outside of look at giving people more opportunities, I'm excluding myself by saying maybe not your usual suspects. Include new people and give them opportunities and nurture them so they don't fall on their faces. Help them learn what they need to grow and really express the ideas that they have. Get new people at the table.
Great. And how would you recommend that people maybe find out more about some of the artists that are in Columbus that maybe don't come up every day, or how do we find those folks?
Look at friends lists. Look at their your favorite artist's Instagram. Those people are already following a ton of different people, and our local community is so strong and supportive. We follow each other. We talk about each other's work. We talk to each other a lot. So even if there isn't an event happening, you can go on social media and find a lot of these links and just be a super sleuth. Go follow all of the links, look at all the things, and see who's commenting and see what they like.
Awesome. There's a spider web of information there. So in another article that you've done with Columbus Underground, you were kind of talking a little bit about some of the murals that went up around downtown last summer, and some artists were paid, some artists weren't, and you were sort of talking about what you'd like to see to kind of create a better community for artists. And so what are some of the things that Columbus needs to do, and you would like to see happen to kind of ensure that we do have a vibrant art scene, and these artists are being valued for their work? What are some of those things that need to happen?
Well, one thing I would say is artists are passionate people, but don't expect their passion to be able to produce work that makes a difference. Pay artists. So as business owners, I would ask to offer something to an artist. Don't assume that they just will work for free because they just want this opportunity. Exposure is a thing, but it is so not a thing that's useful for artists. So paying the artist is a big one. I would say back to businesses, investing in the arts in many ways. So you're donating to GCAC, funding to support artists. You might also be commissioning artists to bring in and make a public work in your lobby, whether that's a mural or a sculpture. You might be hiring a video artist to promote some work. There are lots of different ways to support artists directly, but also as a big group.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to see more of when it comes to art in Columbus in the future?
I'll say more variety, but we already have a large variety of types of work. I would love to see more areas of town putting effort into inviting arts in public spaces. Because it's a pandemic, either online or public spaces is what we have to work with. So right. I think investing in that and really committing to it. Columbus is a large city, but we're behind on where we could be as far as what we're doing in public art sphere. So come on, Columbus.
Yeah, more public art. There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit more with us about the future of art in Columbus.
Well, thank you.